with Corey, I'm really proud of him. He did a great job, but we're going to go a little bit of a different route.
All right. So it's a different
from
style.
This point forward.
It's a different style, and you're bringing in
a little different style.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Little different style.
Donald Trump downplaying the firing. Yep, the firing of his campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, who'll be joining us shortly, despite reports of tension between Lewandowski and Trump staffers, especially Paul Manafort. But what does a campaign shakeup like this mean just weeks before the GOP convention? Let's ask former Republican presidential candidate and Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. Governor, you know you could easily spin this and say Corey's going to move on. He did his thing. He could do it. But instead, abruptly fired. Major story by noon on Monday.
Well, but I think the key thing is look how classy Corey Lewandowski was yesterday in his exit. He didn't have any bitterness, didn't have any, hey, look, they didn't treat me right. He was absolutely, I thought, flawless in the way he departed the stage. That was the way it should have been. He's got a great future. He served Donald Trump very well. But the campaign is shifting in a very different direction toward the general election. Donald Trump thought that there needed to be a new leadership. He made the change. You know what I would like to see? A president who would fire somebody when it was time to fire him. I'd like to see a president who would fire somebody at the VA, who would fire somebody at the IRS, who would fire people at the DOJ for invading people's private phone calls. Instead, we've had an administration for 8 years and won't fire anybody. This would be kind of refreshing to see an executive who acted like one.
That's who we seem to have had also with his family as his inner sanctum, and talk of Ivanka being the one to say, you got to do that or else I'm just going to back out of this campaign. I don't know the truth behind that. We'll ask Donald Trump in about an hour. Let's talk about having 70 people as opposed to 700 people. What do you think is the number, Governor?
There's not a magic number. It's more about function and form. Look, it's better to have fewer people and they work really hard than have a whole bunch of people sitting around doing make work. And I think when you look at Hillary's campaign, it's bloated. There's so many people. But look, what are they doing? What are they getting done? Donald Trump needs more people. He's got to staff up, especially in the fundraising area, but he knows that.
Donald Trump has taken on the vice president, the president, and Hillary Clinton at one time by himself. And the president of the United States is certainly making himself vulnerable. Yesterday has Loretta Lynch, the attorney general, come out and tell 5 different shows, I'm going to redact any reference to al-Baghdadi and ISIS. And then somehow it reversed yesterday. Another disastrous decision.
Total disaster on their part. They tried to rewrite history, and even their pals in the press called them out on it. I mean, it was just universal that they were hooted down for looking just foolish, for trying to pretend that nobody really wanted to talk about who this guy was and what he did. You can't rewrite history, and I'll tell you, I know what I'm doing. I'm leaving everything that I said originally when they did this phony redaction, leaving it on my website and on my Facebook page. Other people should do the same. We should never let our government get away with trying to spin a story, lie to us, or tell us something that they know is not the full story.
51 State Department people don't believe this administration. They came out and said, I don't like your policy. The CIA director said, I have a total different opinion on what we're doing against ISIS. It's a different story. Governor Mike Huckabee, man, it's just a slow news day. Nothing much going on. Great to see you in studio.
Great to see you,
And he
Brian.
did not have to Google directions. You know how to get here.